In the universe, our souls are bound to one another, as we are bound to the incomprehensible nature of the One. In this connection, we are all but blips in the cosmic existence of time. We are born, we live, and we die, and we become one with the source of the universe. It is in this reality that we must make the choice to love the way that Christ loved. We must make the choice to die as Christ died. This is not a physical death, but it is one of self-introspection and rejection of the things inside of us that chain us to a nature that is not our own. The path of the world, the nature of fear, bound the human consciousness to destructive loops that do not allow us to become the fully awakened creation that is in the nature of the One that is in us. Before Christ, the nature of the One was not just incomprehensible, but it was unobtainable in the path of the world. However, in Christ, our minds are free to be the best version of who we were always meant to be. We are free to catch fire as Christ calls us to in Luke chapter 12, verses 49 to 53. I've come to start a fire on this earth. How I wish it were blazing right now. I've come to change everything, turn everything right side up. How I long for it to be finished. Do you think I came to smooth things over and make everything nice? Not so. I've come to disrupt and confront. We are to become alive, fully alive, so that as we are but a blip in the grand chaos of the cosmos, we can set small fires in the lives of all we touch, in the souls of all we connect. Love is the great kindler of that eternal, all-consuming flame that can free humanity from the destructive loops of the inner self. Our consciousness is what gives us the choice of how we are to live out our lives here on earth. It is the same choice that the spirit of incomprehensible One evolved into the awakening of the human mind. Just as our ancestors looked up to make sense of the world around them, we are to look inward to find the answers so that we in Christ can continue to change the course of history, bending the human existence to that of a full communion with God. As we become like Christ, the threads of our humanity also become interlaced with the incomprehensible nature of God. This allows the human mind to tap into the collective consciousness of the One, to tap into the uncertainty of the universe itself, to understand that we are nothing, and yet we exist in everything. We are but dust, and yet our consciousness bursts out of us into the threads of the universe, the threads that bind us into the great cosmic cloth that is humanity. Living out this reality, that it is not about the things that the world wants us to follow, but it is about the power to break off the chains of the mind's destructive loops, the chains that are imposed on us by the internal self that says, we are not good enough for mercy, we are not worthy of grace, and we do not deserve to be loved. The fires of a fully awakened human will burn those chains off the soul, and as we become like Christ, as we reach out not to the sky, but into the pure darkness of the unrealized potential of pure love, we who have the nature of the One inside of our very soul will become new beings as we fully realize the fullness of our true self. The path of love then gives way to the path of salvation, a salvation that is brought about not by a set of dogmas or ritual beliefs, but it is one that is birthed inside the very nature of our souls. As we realized the awakening of the true self inside of us, our souls become unshackled by love. Fear and the internal voices inside of every one of us opens the door for us to fill the empty holes in our lives with the path that Christ calls us to choose. It is a choice that will evolve our individual human condition, unleashing the full potential of the human mind that is unhindered by the evils of the world. Therefore, we will begin to view the world differently. We will begin to view the world as Christ calls us to, and we will continue the work of changing everything, of turning everything right side up. We will change ourselves, and in doing so, change the world. For every action that we take in love, For every time we choose to love others in the face of adversity, we will become kindlers of the fire inside all of the people that we touch, and in doing so, we will awaken the Christ in them, the very nature of the incomprehensible God in them. And as the mystic John saw in his vision of Revelation, the world, our broken world, will be destroyed by fire, an unquenchable fire that will come out of the human soul and the eternal search that embody the nature of the One in a depthless ocean.